No food. No food. We might just go 2 hours. Here we go. Oops, I didn't put you on live. All right. William is under the weather today, and so he's not going to have a show. So if me and Rendy run over, and Rendy had issues today, it's a Monday madness, huh, Rendy?
Yeah, I had a few technical difficulties. I apologize, everyone, but at least my face is up on the screen, so you can just pretend I'm talking.
That's right. She'll be back next week.
Yeah.
And so now you say, did Ellie even have issues today? Yes. The dog got shocked on my curling iron, so I had no curling iron today. It's okay. My hair, y'all just don't look at my hair. Don't look at Randy. And William is under the weather. So and we got to feel better for William. And Susan says hello to me and Randy. And Randy is my host. I don't like to do the whole co-host when they're a second host. And so yeah, we both look good. I think even Randy says her hair is up in a towel.
Yeah.
And you know what? She looks fabulous on there.
Thank you. But if you guys could see me, I literally have my wet hair up in a turban because I had technical issues with my phone. So that's just where we are on this Monday madness, like you said.
Yeah, Monday madness. So I'm going to start this off, Randy.
Okay.
There is. Oh, you guys are going to love this because I want to do something, a little bit different and weird in the news. So this guy checks, I'm going to do this on memory. This guy checks into this hotel, and it's a very well known hotel, and they didn't list it. This is on New York Post. And what he does, let me get comfy here. What he did was he got in the room, he put his stuff away, and he gets into bed and what's that smell? He had a weird smell. And now he's got stinky feet. So he goes in and he washes his feet. And he gets back in bed and the smell's still there. Now, people that say, how could this guy have such stinky feet? My son, oh my God, Randy, my son had the nastiest feet, even after he washed them. His socks, when he'd take them off and throw them towards the washroom, they would be dried in place with stinky.
Yeah.
So I know, do you know anybody with stinky feet, Randy?
Oh, yes, absolutely. If you think of race car drivers in 110-degree heat and then strapped into that fire suit, and they can't get out of their car for a while. I mean, you're in there for quite a long time. And I was the one that had to handle the shoes and the fire suits. And I had to put a clothespin on my nose. It was
I just did the plug your nose thing. And my daughter, unfortunately, sometimes, we had to live in an apartment, so she had to share a room. She'd come out crying. Oh, his feet stink so bad. My daughter's going to kill me for mentioning this. And, she's 8 and 10 years old. And so, okay, let me get on with the story. So he washes his feet a second time and he sleeps through the night, and he gets up and he goes and does his thing and for the day, and he comes back, opens the door and goes, oh my God, it stinks in here. So the hotel was kind enough to let him change rooms. Well, he didn't have that smell. Well, lo and behold, a couple hours later, there's banging at the door, and he opens it up, and there's a cop. They're going to arrest him. And why? There was a dead body under his bed in the other room.
Oh, oh, oh my God.
Yeah. And guess what? The last time they had rented a room was a week prior.
Oh no.
So they went and got the guy, the guy that that had rented the room, and he said they did, justice did serve right, justice was there, and they did arrest the guy for murder. But can you imagine that? Thinking his feet was the smell, and he had a dead body under his bed. Makes you want to look
Ah,
under the bed now when you get a hotel room, huh?
that is going to make you think twice. You know what I did one time? Everybody else was protesting. A whole group of us went on vacation in Florida, and somebody else had booked the room. And I said, I don't like the looks of this hotel. It was in a really nice area, and it was a very highly rated, I'm not going to say the chain name, but they're really nice hotels. Well, I have one of those black lights to look around. I got one
Don't
for
do
this
that.
trip because I thought
Don't
I'm
do the
going to
bed,
see.
Randy. Oh my God, don't do the bed because you'll see stains.
I did. I cannot unsee
Yeah,
the. I probably shouldn't even say on here, but let's just say that there were splatter marks everywhere.
everywhere. Oh yeah, and get this. When the college students get in there, they do that stuff. And I don't want to be. I have to watch what I say. They do things, and then they
Yeah.
throw it all over the wall.
Uh,
And and so when you do a black light like that, it would scare you. You would think, oh my God, someone's been massacred in this room, and it's just bodily fluids.
and dirt. The main reason
Oh,
that I took it was.
I have been in rooms that I looked down at the carpet and I was like, wait a minute now. Well, what about, when last time I went out to see my brother, we got snowed in kind of. And I figured I'd rather be snowed in at his house than the hotel. It's a better place.
Yeah.
And so we packed up, what I needed, and we left about half our stuff there, and we went and stayed at my brother's house. The following night, we went to stay. The room was empty and cleaned. And I went to the desk and I said, what happened to all my stuff? They said, we thought you left.
Oh,
I said, we paid for the room for 3 days. This is day two. I said, can I have my stuff back? They didn't know where it was at.
oh no.
So they took half my stuff, clothes, towels, makeup, curlers, a bunch of stuff.
What in the world did you do? Can you file a complaint to get? What would you do in a situation
I
like
asked
that?
the manager, oh, he's on vacation for a couple weeks.
Oh, nice. Of
So
course,
what?
they're always on vacation.
I don't know if my viewers remember. I got online and did a show, and I said what the place was, and I told them what they did. Wow. Okay, Randy, I know you've got one. Let's get off weird news and let's get on to yours next one. And if me and Randy run over today, it's okay. We're having fun.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun show today. And this is called And Justice for All. This story is not necessarily about justice right now, but I'm going to give you some information. So if you do get caught up in this, or at least I will make you aware of what is coming our way so that you can give yourself justice. There will be justice for you in some manner. This comes from the United Kingdom. And what has happened, they're doing an experiment with, guess what? What is trending right now? AI, artificial intelligence. Cameras have been installed along the A23, which is a major roadway that leaves London. 6 lanes of traffic. And they have AI cameras now installed that can look and see what you are doing inside your car. This is not just in 3D, it's in 4D. So even if you are 6 lanes over, they can look in and see what kind of eyeshadow I'm wearing. They can see the color of your eyes. It's scary the way that AI is going. And they're doing it under the guise of, well, we just need to check and make sure everyone has insurance. This is just going to be a better camera. This will be able to run your license plate, make sure you're registered, and make sure that you have the proper insurance. What if you're on the fly and you have to eat a quick sandwich? Are they going to make a law saying you can't eat in your car? And you know, maybe sometimes that is not a good idea. That could be a driving hazard. But what is next? That's my question. What are we going to be in our houses? I mean, I've got a theory that they can already see what we do. But think about this, Ellie. What about people who have got the newer cars? I'm going to say probably from 2016 on up. And they have the backup cameras on the panel, on your dash, on your car, and everything is Bluetoothed. Everything has Wi-Fi connection to it. What else is in there?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Now, I told you before about there's cameras on everything. If there is a screen, there's a camera like in your home. Your TV you sit in front of has got a little camera in it. Siri, what does Siri listen to?
Yeah.
That's why I won't have Siri in my house. You know, they have them little thing, and oh, it's so neat to have Siri. No, what is Siri listening to and recording? So go ahead, go on. I don't, you know.
No, that is really, they're trying to play it off as well that, you know, over in Ireland, across a lot of the northern UK, they have a lot of wind turbines. They're trying to go all electric as well. They're having tremendous problems right now with the prices that they are charging people for their heating in England. I mean, people are in the roads protesting. But they're using the excuse. All of these AI cameras are solar powered.
Yeah.
That's what but they're solar powered. So we're saving on energy. And we're going to keep you all safe.
Yeah.
So you have a nice day, but just know that we're watching everything that you do. I mean, it's just scary.
Weird news, like I just did with the guy with the stinky feet.
Yeah.
Oh, now I mentioned the kill switch to you earlier. You remember that?
Oh, yes. Yes. So if you don't have the correct registration, say you've let your insurance lapse, whatever it is that they don't like, they have the ability in these new cars to operate them by remote control. They can shut your car off. I have watched YouTube videos where people were just experimenting with some of the new, I don't know if they were Tahoes. Anyway, there was some sort of SUV that had come out. And they were able to operate it in a parking lot with no driver in it. And we know Tesla has the driverless car that is just freaky if you watch some of those YouTube videos. And since there's not very many of them, you wouldn't believe the look on people's faces when you're sitting in the front passenger side of your car and there's nobody driving it.
Yeah.
It can even parallel park itself. Creepy.
Yeah, you got the whole thing where you can parallel park. Now, I told you earlier we're in China. They're testing out a, the gun they have that checks how fast you're going, the cops.
Yeah, the radar gun.
The radar gun. So now over in China, they're testing this out to where the radar gun can actually have a kill switch on it that will shut your engine down. So if you're going 130 miles an hour and trying to escape from the cops, it'll kill your motor, so you eventually stop. And they say this is good for all countries because then you don't have rollovers or accidents. It just slows the car down. Now they can still steer, but the thing that gets me is, okay, so what if you're not doing anything wrong and the cop just is a bad cop and hits that kill switch and pulls you over just to check you out?
Yeah. Yeah. What if you're a patriot and you just don't believe some of the maybe the new laws or the new rules? Mm-hmm. Not to say that you're breaking any, but you just don't think the same as them. You're not on their same page.
Yeah, and you mentioned something earlier, and this all started with the breathalyzer thing, where you can't start your car if you don't do the breathalyzer. Now, what if you're a criminal and they know that, and you're going to go to work? What if you no registration, no license, and you go to start your car and you can't start it because guess what? You better have registration and your license. And what if it's something where you got to key it in? See, that's why they have to make these cars all electric, Randy. That's what I'm thinking.
I think you're onto something there. Something else that has been a problem here in Illinois. I did look this up. I was very interested in this matter. They call it the breath alcohol.
I don't mean to laugh, Randy, but it's a statement one of our viewers just put in there, and I don't even have. Okay, I put one up on the screen, and then what she said after. She said, "I'm sorry, but I hate technology. It's getting worse, not better. It's being used against us." And then what she said, "I'm getting a bicycle." See, that's why I giggled. I'm getting a golf cart.
Yeah, and they're making rules for those now.
Yeah.
In the towns around me, now you have to have a driver's license.
Yeah.
If you're in a bind because you don't have a driver's license and
or a motorized
just get on
bike.
A golf cart,
yeah.
No.
Well, how about a motorized bike, a 3-wheeler? You could put a motor on any bike at this point. And I'm thinking, they're I hate to get political. They're making that 15-minute city rule. They want to adopt this to where they close your city off, and you have to walk or bike or golf cart or something like that and get there within 15 minutes. And anything outside that 15 minutes, you're not allowed to go, or they're going to be checking you like a checkpoint.
What?
Yeah,
What?
that's World Economic Forum, and it's called the 15-minute city. And it's, a few well-known journalists have put this out, and I haven't done a show on it yet because I'm kind of waiting to see it. But they said these new roundabouts, and then the way they have set it up to where there are freeways where there's a really nice exit, and then there's nothing for a long time. Boy, we're getting into this whole AI. See, Randy goes, I don't know if I'm going to have more than 5 minutes. And we're going, Randy, on this. So the 15-minute city. So can you imagine, You living where you're at, and I know you're rural,
Yeah.
and okay, think of where you can go in 15 minutes walking.
To the neighbors. Seriously, to the neighbors. That's it.
Yeah,
I tried walking in town
I
one
can't
time.
walk for 15 minutes. I can't even walk half a block. I would have to get my, the motorized wheelchair. But okay, so where can I go in 15 minutes?
Oh my
Nowhere. I'm
Lord.
not even be able to go get my medicine, my
Yeah.
scripts. And um, yeah, yeah. So I would have to get like a three-wheel bicycle that can go 50 miles an hour, maybe 100. Let's see if I can put a kill switch on my bike. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You
They
know
have
me,
messed
Randy.
up
I'm a
cars.
I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel with a cause. And
Yeah, me too.
is it fit? Okay. Is it 15 minutes walking or driving? It's driving, they say. Only if you got electric vehicle though. So it's the 15. Boy, everybody's going to be interested in this 15-minute city. I might have to do something on this. Maybe I'll do it next week. I got so many really good shows coming up. Um, but yeah, so if they close you off in a 15-minute and then they put this stuff on your car, they can tell if you cheat. If you do 20 or 25 minutes, are they going to cut your car off?
I know it. And really, really savvy mechanics know how to bypass those chips.
Does your
But the
brother?
bad thing is that AI technology is going to be so smart, it's going to know that you tried to outsmart it.
Will
So
you
then
be
you're really going to
arrested
get in
though?
trouble.
So now let's say I get in there and I say I'm not going to have it. And I rip it out and throw it on the ground. They're going to know. They're going to come get me. I can
Yeah.
swear they're going to. So even if someone like a really good mechanic takes it off, are they going to come after you or the mechanic? And will they shut that business down? That's tyranny.
It is. It is. And what scares me with my motorsports background is we don't always have the brightest tool in the shed that's installing this.
Um,
And I have heard of them here in the state of Illinois screwing up people's vehicles because they didn't put that bait device in right to begin with.
Now Susan said so only 15-minute driving if you have electric car, not gas. No, it's both. It's both. And they're really protest in the streets. But the problem with the protest, boy, um, if they protest, are they going to? I always say call out the Soylent Green trucks and scoop you up and take you. That's just. Um, you might have to watch my Thursday show because I'm going to talk a lot on protest and what happens or what could possibly happen. So,
Yeah.
and she said, oh, both. She didn't know that because, see, they're trying to do away with gas cars by, was it 2030? So, can you
Yeah.
imagine the world we live in if this is how they want it? I don't think they're going to get this. I don't think it's going to happen. It
I
could.
don't either.
I don't. I think it's just there's too many people that with their own ideas that want to stick to the Constitution. That I don't think they're going to do away with the gas cars, and why? Because there's too many issues. Not enough cobalt, not enough uranium, plutonium to keep the batteries or keep these cars going. They're almost out of cobalt now, and cobalt's the main thing for your battery. And get this, Randy, 20,000 for a new battery.
Yeah,
Who
I
can
was
afford
thinking
that?
about this.
It's
So there's a
10,000.
special battery that you use in drag racing in certain classes when you race. It's not a door car, it's called a dragster.
Mm-hmm.
And the engine sits right behind you. I don't know if anybody's seen them on TV, you might know what I'm talking about, but you don't have any space. There's a company that makes very compact. I mean, they're like maybe 6 inches wide and they're about a foot long series of 6 lithium batteries. And that sits right down in a special spot, right behind your roll cage,
Mm-hmm.
that can power your race car.
Yeah.
You can't overcharge them or they do explode. Been there, done that, seen it.
Yeah.
That was ugly.
And they're hard to put
But
out.
they were $7,500 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So I believe now.
Yeah. And now they're trying to get 3-year-olds because the cobalt is, they're thinking it's deeper and deeper and deeper. And what they're doing is they're getting younger and younger kids to crawl in these holes to get this cobalt out. And I mean, we're talking 3, 4, 5-year-olds. It's already bad enough they're doing 9-year-olds to get the cobalt. This isn't good. And so what happens when the cobalt runs out? Well, we found out there's a little bit here, but China's already snagged it up on us. Buying land here, they've done snagged it. Wow.
Yeah, look at the Bundy Ranch.
Yeah.
That's what I think that was all about.
Yeah, it was all about resources because they were now the Bundys. And I was right there the whole time. I mean, I was just in on every moment I could get. And the neighbor had sold out, and China bought that property. And China was offering them good money for all the properties around Bundy. And the Bundys wouldn't settle. And see, that's what started the whole thing. And then, of course, our politicians jumped in and said, "Oh no, it's turtles." And they were like, "Turtles? Where's the turtles at?" It all turned into, it was about turtles, not China buying the land. And it was not only for resources, Randy, but what they did is they put in those great big buildings. And in the buildings, and I was just telling a friend about this today, is they got these little computer systems, and the computer systems is basically what we were just talking about with these, where they watch you. And it's like everybody has a file that they keep track of. And so they need all these buildings so they can keep track of what we're doing. So later on, anything we say or do, or they've got a recording of, they can use it against us. That's what they did with Bundy's, that property around the Bundys. And I only learned that because of Alex Jones. So
wow. I remember when that happened. It was also good to see how the cowboy community came together.
Yeah.
And there's people from all over the nation, trailer and horses there, and say, "What are you going to do? Shoot my horse out from underneath me?" I mean, come on, guys.
That's it. Okay, are you finished? Because we'll move on.
Yeah.
Boy, this next one we're going to have fun with too. Now I've got one, and this is a story out of Michigan, and it is a cop. And I do a lot of cards, and some of these boxes of sports cards or even NASCAR, they're very, very pricey. So what this police officer did is he found a way to price switch. And he was doing it at the Meijer stores. And what I'm thinking is they didn't necessarily have the scan, where you scan it. I think it's like, I'm not thinking Toys R Us, KB Toys. I was very surprised. I went in the mall and they had the old registers where they ring in the price. Well, what this guy did was he took the price off of something cheaper and put it on his cards and took it up. Well, he ripped off 65 stores.
Wow.
And so this officer is 42 years old, and he accused the prosecutors of trying to only go after him because he was a police officer. But prosecutors found that he had switched the price on the boxes of sports cards and to a lesser value. And of course, we, like I was saying, usually there's the UPC codes. And so it was when they presented it to this jury, They did eventually find him guilty, um, and of basically fraud.
Yeah.
Um, and um, when they first started looking into it, it was, and I get this, it was all the way across Michigan. It was in Eden, Ingram, Clinton, Ionia, Genesee, Shiawassee counties. And so it wasn't just that store. He was going all over Michigan to all these Meyer stores to do this and price switch. Okay. No, so that wasn't so bad. So we got it really cheap. But then he was selling it, these boxes, at the regular price, or getting into the boxes. Because, if you got a rookie card in one of them, you can make a lot of money. You can make a lot of money. Um,
Yeah. That's
I collect baseball cards, and we used to go get those box sets. And we used to get them out, and we get two, one to keep, so we could make, if anything was in there, that we could sell it for more. And then we'd open a box and go through every single package until we got those rookie cards, and then we would sell them or trade them. And you could make a lot of money doing that. So he made thousands of dollars, they say. And, of course, being a police officer, he said he had to do something to um, um, take care of what he couldn't make as a police officer. So now we got a crooked police officer, and um, and he did it for at least 5 years before they caught him.
whoa. That's a lot of money
Yeah, and so
difference.
yeah, and so with the 65 instances at 6 different counties. Um, Now I don't know um, if they hit him up each individual county, because it really doesn't say. But he did get it for retail fraud and ended up in prison time. Now, when I read this, I thought, this isn't the first time with justice that me and you've looked into different cases. It just seems like there are a lot of crooked cops up around from where you're at, upper
Uh-huh.
north. And you have to almost give a lot of credit to a lot of these people that are saying we got crooked cops up here in the north, and here in the south, or even out west, you're like, we got great cops. Or Texas got some of the best cops. But we're finding Michigan, Illinois, or even around where Lee is, Wisconsin and upwards, we're finding there are just all these horrible, crooked cops, bad cops. You know,
Yeah.
I've even, you know, uh, I've even heard of up north, and I think it was Wisconsin, where there was a town that they said you can collect on tickets. As a cop, you can collect on tickets. And see if the people don't want to go to court, they could just pay out. Now they had that scheme here, and they got caught, and of course we put an end to it. But this is going on all over the northern states, to where they'll pull you over and say, hey, for $100, I won't even give you, we'll just file the ticket and say it's paid for. Well, if you would have went to court and seen the judge, you might have been overnight in jail and out, or you might have only had to pay $50. And what did the cop get? $100. And if you tried to tell the judge that, well, you paid it. Sorry.
Wow, that's a racket.
Oh
I
yeah, we stopped it here. Get this, it was in a Greenbrier, Arkansas, and they had cops that was doing this. Now they might come and get me. They might come and get me for this, but it was a very long time ago. It was early 80s when they did that, and everybody knew not to go that way. And not only that, but they had cops that would hide. And if you went over the speed limit like 2 or 3 miles an hour, they would get you. Greenbrier was known as, if you go into Greenbrier, you're going to get pulled over no matter what. And we finally put a stop to it. Now Greenbrier is a beautiful city with excellent cops. So,
wow.
so okay, Randy, what do you got?
Well, this just jogged my memory as you were talking about the cobalt earlier and how it's going to take somebody smaller and smaller and smaller to get into these areas to mine the cobalt, maybe even kids. But it's happening right here in America. There have been not just one or two, but 3 McDonald's, obviously owned by the same person, franchisee, in Louisville, Kentucky, Taylor Avenue. And when I saw this, I thought, what? Taylor Avenue is one of the back streets that you can take that's easier to avoid the traffic to get to Churchill Downs. Because back years ago, I used to work at Churchill. So I knew Taylor Avenue was one of the ways to go to the track. But it's a little bit of an impoverished community around there. They were doing a health check in the McDonald's, and they found a 10-year-old boy.
Mm-hmm.
And about an 11-year-old girl that were operating a deep fryer. You have to be at least 16 years old
Mm-hmm.
to operate the deep fryer in a McDonald's, at least. I don't know about other franchises. But these kids had been working all week long. This was just a regular thing that this guy that owned all of these McDonald's was putting little kids to work and getting away with it. I mean, my first question is, why aren't they in school?
Yeah, really.
This is during the day. They busted them. What are you doing here? You ought to be in school.
Yeah. Do you think they might have been migrants?
I wonder. That is a heavy.
Was my first
area.
thought when you said they should have been in school. Are these migrants that they're doing this to pay off the cartel? Or
Yeah.
are they the kids of the owners?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't deep dive that much into it, gonna be honest. But I just couldn't believe this article because I've driven right by there before. I
Wow.
know this area. And you're right. Racetracks, especially these thoroughbred tracks, draw, immigrants because you're just an almost sure hire. You need a place to sleep. You need enough money right now to eat or get food. And then we'll pay you by the day, pay you extra every time that you walk a horse up the track to go get saddled for the race. That's an extra $150 cash right there in your hand, besides what you get paid during the week.
Yeah.
So this is a lucrative deal for a lot of people in that area. The sad part is, why are you not just getting extra help? I don't understand. Maybe because they don't have to pay the children. Why are you taking little kids and saying, drop another bag of fries?
Yeah.
That's just scary to me.
Randy, when must have been I'm gonna say 7th grade, and my friend, I don't know if I should mention her name or not. We're a good friend and her sister. They knew some people across the street had a Mexican restaurant, and them I think she was 12 and 13 years old. They were having them work at this restaurant.
Oh.
And that was back in the 70s or early 70s. I mean, I'm talking, wow, let's see, 71, 72. And they paid them for them, but under the table.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how, this with the 10-year-olds, okay, it could be that, or it could be just like this Mexican restaurant. Hey, we got some kids in the neighborhood. They want to make a little bit of extra cash. But the whole school thing during school, that's just something isn't right. That just smells like a really bad situation there. And for McDonald's to do it,
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Yeah.
they have, where you can buy your own franchise, but you're still under policy of McDonald's itself to follow their rules and regulations.
Yes. Um, he obviously lost all of that. And I don't know if he did jail time or not. My thought was, what are these kids? They're not getting an education, obviously. Maybe not much of one. I don't know. Unless you're there,
Yeah, we
do
don't
we
know.
really know?
And
And
a lot of these articles that we pull this from really don't give all the fine details, and that's why I really like bringing this to our shows to where I can discuss, me and you can discuss it. So
yeah.
I do want to get on to this next one, and this is a yikes moment, folks. It was a prank, and some people, they fell for it, and others didn't. They knew it was a prank, but for those that didn't know it was a prank, it was a baby mute product. It was a prank that left parents horrified, and they said it can't be legal. What was it? It was a new product that hit the market. It is called Baby Mute. It promises to silence your baby on long flights or in public. Movie theaters, you can now go to the movies. You can fly on planes, and you put this on your baby, and it's designated to gently cover your baby's mouth and nose, reducing the sound of the baby's cries of 87%. And that means the baby would remain calm and comfortable while you got on with your regular activities. And so Brad Gosi, he promoted this on Instagram. Now, everybody was horrified. Oh boy, let's see if I can, I got to, Randy, let's see how I can do this. I want to be able to show this.
You're trying to pull up a picture. Mm-hmm. Show us what it looks like.
Let's see.
Did you say this was a prank, though?
Yeah, okay, so now before everybody gets totally flipped out over this.
Right, this was, like, what?
It was a joke that was put on Instagram.
Oh, no.
It was just a prank. The guy made up this little thing and photoshopped it to the bait. I have to show this to you guys. All right, let me.
He probably made it like a meme and posted it on Instagram, and people lost their minds. Is what it sounds like.
Well, I would have lost my mind seeing this. You don't normally. There it is. I don't know if you could see this, Randy. You might have to watch it later.
I can't.
This is what he invented. It was a joke. And so it was a joke, and everybody just got really upset that this guy did this, and they were going to sue him. And he said, he captioned the post, "Innovation at its best, the finest baby silencer." He later shared the Instagram story, and then basically with this on this baby's face. And apparently, there was even testimonials of people wanting this and thought it was a great idea.
There are some people out there. Okay, let me back up. I'm going to admit something. Okay, it's out here on the web now. I am one of those people who will walk into a restaurant and say, "Please don't sit me next to babies or small children who are going to scream while I'm trying to have a wonderful dinner with somebody." But there's a difference between that and putting a device on a baby's face. That's just inhumane.
Well, guess what,
Okay.
Randy?
What?
They make he put it out there. It comes in adult sizes too.
Oh my gosh. I can think of so many people right off the bat. Do they sell them in packs of 10?
It's a it's a prank. It's a prank.
I know, but sometimes I want that to be real.
No, no. Maybe for
Not the
adults,
baby,
not for babies. No,
not the
because
baby.
this horrified people. I mean, this absolutely horrified people. And they were like, this can't be legal. And some said, I'll be damned if they put a muzzle on their kids like that. What if they choke or suffocate? I mean, it wasn't even people said, has this been tested? And he was answering them like it was a real thing. And then finally he let the cat out of the bag and said, no, 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 because people were going to sue him. And you know what? It ruined him because he does have legitimate products out there for babies. It ruined him.
He's an idiot for
Yeah,
doing
ain't it?
that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That it's so outrageous to be real. And that's one lady. That's what she said. This is too outrageous to be real, and it should be shut down immediately. So we had the outraged parents, and then we had people saying, "Huh, where do I buy one?" You got to wonder
Wow.
what kind of parents those are. And this is part of weird but true. Wow, just wow.
Yeah, I can't believe. No wonder he was trying to get sued. But why would he go so far and take the joke that far by actually answering some of the emails or the questions at first? He was misleading people. No wonder he got sued.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
But how many people do these pranks that scare the hell out of people? Now look at the guy that did the alien invasion back in, what was it, in the 30s or 40s, 50s, where
yes, the Mars, the alien invasion. Oh
Yeah.
my God! Seriously,
and
what
everybody
was that called?
there was people that killed themselves.
War of the Worlds.
War of
Is
the
that
Worlds.
it?
Yeah, that's right. War of the Worlds. And so, people do these pranks and they don't expect, repercussion from it. And this guy, he was ruined over it, just ruined. And as some say it served him right for doing that, because what if this was something that someone else is going to try? They see the prototype. What if they were going to go make one for their own kid? That was the whole legal thing to go after him on. It's such a simple, well, it looks like something very simple. But who's going to go out and copy this? I mean, and I'll show everybody again. And it's something he just made up and photoshopped onto a baby. How many people are going to try to go out and try to shush their kids up? Wow.
No. Yeah.
I got one here. I'm going to get rich selling chloroform inserts for those masks. Yeah, see? I don't know if she wants me to put this up on her or not, but I did a joke. What was it this week on the funny post about, it is, I think it's something like this chloroform legal or something like that. It was a chloroform
thing. About I shared this on Facebook. I read that.
Yeah, it was funny
out loud.
Yeah, and so why did he should have put ha ha ha, this is just a joke, or put it in a joke form. But when he put it out, he said a soundproof, breathable device to silence your baby cries during long flights and movie nights. And he should have said, just kidding, this is a joke. But he didn't.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Trump Jr. puts out some stuff too that that's kind of cringy, but he admits on Instagram he calls himself the meme king. Don Jr., and he makes them himself.
Yeah.
He'll grab a picture and then puts the text on there and just comes up with them himself. And some of them are really funny, but some of them I'm thinking, you know what? Only you could get away with this, dude.
Many people look at this guy. Woof, yikes! It just makes you wonder. You know, a lot of these pranks that are put up now on, you know, TikTok and or what about and teenagers fall for it. What about when they used to do cinnamon, or it was went from cinnamon to Tide Pods and all these different things that they say, here, try this. So all these teens and college students tried all this dumb stuff and was hurting themselves over it. So this is just another joke that it went viral, seriously viral, and it's very scary. Randy, we're out of time. I still have another show to do, and I didn't even get to the guy with 10 years in jail. So we'll get to that next week. And Randy always says, Randy goes, I don't know if I got enough to cover like 35 and 40 minutes. Well, we're like 10 till the hour, and look at what we've done. Babies to stinky feet to AI.
And you guys got to come away with something funny or positive in this show.
Yeah, so I do want to add the weird but true, and I'll even sick Lindy on some of these things too. I'll have her look at it. This weird but true news. And we had the stinky feet and we had the baby masks. And then, of course, we had stuff very serious of cops. This cop that was ripping off stores 65 times. And then the AI of what we need to be aware of with these new electric cars. So I gift you some of my remaining time. You want me to keep going? Well, okay. We got a viewer that says we need to keep going.
Really? Yeah. Are they loving it?
Yeah, I guess so. So, all right. The guy with 10 years. Now, he did murder somebody. And what it was is he's been sitting in jail, and because of the pandemic, they weren't really doing court cases. It slowed it to a kneel. Now, 10 years later, he can't even, he's having a problem getting a lawyer. And now the Sixth Amendment says, you have a right to a speedy trial.
Yeah.
And so what is a speedy trial? Now, I've looked into it. I mean, I watched a lot of trials. And normally, if you ask for a speedy trial, like some of these shooters, you might get in less than a year. The normal time limit for you to get into court is 2 years. And that's speedy. Wow. Now, can you imagine everybody that with the crime rate up? What's going to be speedy? We've already got the 9/11 or the January 6th guys that haven't even been before a judge yet. And they don't expect them to be before a judge for quite a few years.
I just think that's political, though, because of the infamy of what happened. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
They're going to keep them to make an example and prove a point. If you all try to stand up for your rights, shame on you. See what you get?
Now, see, there was 3 of them on this murder. There was 3 guys. The other 2 got their trials in less than 2 years. Now, here's this guy sitting in jail, not even prison. He's in jail for 10 years now. And he's still waiting. And when he asked the prosecuting attorney, well, how much longer is this going to be? He said, well, you still need a lawyer, and it's going to take time because it's a murder case. So it could be 2 to 7 years before he gets into court. So that's 15 to 17 years in jail waiting to go to trial. Now, and they said, this is common. The whole thing was, and when I went and looked at the article, it ended like this is very common that there are at least 10% of those in jail that's been sitting there in between 5 and 10 years because of the just on the pandemic alone.
I know that slowed stuff down, but man, another first thing that I think of is then, whoa, what our tax dollars are paying for him because
Yes.
this is the way the justice system works. Thanks
Yeah.
a lot.
And
Let's
they
go,
say
Brandon.
they need to let all these people out of jails and prisons. No, how about they just go through and they look? Because this was something else that was mentioned in the article about letting all of these guys go because until they have to go to trial. Wait a minute, this guy's a murderer. I mean, he murdered he killed somebody, and so he's gonna have to go to prison. Now, bad that it's taken 10 years to be able to prosecute him, but don't let him go. I mean, his buddies are already spending time in prison. They got their trials.
We see how that's been working out on some bad stuff that's been in the news here recently. By who? Somebody that was locked up and then said free to go.
And they went and did the same
thing they do.
Yeah, they said the same thing all over again. Yeah, so we don't want to let this guy go. I mean, I feel bad for him. When I read the story, it was like, yeah, this poor guy. And then towards the end, it said he murdered somebody. I said, no, not poor guy no more. No, Ellie, don't go for that. If you killed somebody, you better serve some time. And if your buddies that were, he's the actual one that did the killing. The other ones were part of it. Sixth Amendment or not, he's not going to get time. He'll get time served for 10 years because that's normally what happens. But if he gets life or, life with no parole, he's got 10, 15 years under his belt, but he's still got life in prison. But
what about him on a ventilator to get their 10 years back?
Yeah. Now think of someone. Now, there are so many people right now in a lot of these busy cities that I knew of I read it. It was either I read it or seen on Dateline or 48 Hours. One of them. It could have been Court TV. I don't know. Of a guy that they thought he had killed somebody, and he spent close to 20 years. And then this is way back. This is before DNA. This is in the 80s. And then in the 2000, when they started doing all this DNA blood, OJ, and they compared his blood with what was found. It wasn't his blood. And then when they did it, it popped up at some other guy that was spending time in jail. So he just spent 20 years for something he didn't do. And because of DNA, he got out. Now, that's what I would rather see than them just letting people go. We don't need the, we have one that says, wow, that'd be a nightmare. And I think of it, yeah, this would be a nightmare if we let all these guys out of jail until they have to go to court. No, because how many times are there reoffenders? If we've heard this guy was in jail 7 times for stabbing people with a knife. And okay, so he goes through, he bonds, and then he goes and stabs someone again, another death. And they're like, okay, well, we'll just wait for him to go to court now. The justice system is so messed up. And sometimes it's not justice for all. But for the guy I told you about in Texas, granted, he did 20 years. But in the long run, there was justice for him because he got out. And he got a life sentence with no possibility of parole. But he got out. And have an idea of how to solve a cold case. Whenever they arrest, they have them try on OJ gloves until they find someone that does fit. That's so true. Back in how many, and this is something that was mentioned during and I don't want to mention It was another president where they came in. I said, oh, okay, I'll just say it was Bush. And they were convicting all these people. And then we moved into the next president, and we seen the OJ thing and then the DNA. But now there's even better DNA. And they have actually, when I looked into it, they have just with DNA alone, showing that these people didn't do it, have released close to 500 people that spent more than 5 years in prison.
Oh my gosh. That's the stories that need to get out. Is that not everybody is going to reoffend, though, I think, once they get out of prison. I do believe there are some people that really do get reformed, and they're like, I don't want to go through that again. No, thank you.
Yeah.
And they're good. But I wonder what the numbers say. What's the percentage rate on that?
Yeah.
Because
they usually have it. They got poll numbers on everything, Randy. I swear. You just got to say how many. You just got to do the little Google thing. And yet normally you can get the information. But okay, Randy, do you have anything else to add? Don't get Siri in your house. That's all I have to say to add to
or that Amazon Echo Dot.
Yeah.
Or the Amazon Echo, the Nest, Nest, those are real popular because they're just so little and they're easy to operate. They're just USB chargeable, or they run off USB. Super easy.
Yeah.
I think that those things hear you and listen to you. It's my opinion, allegedly.
And I think that a lot of this is just to spy on us and keep track of us. And it's not right. It's not right for any government to do that to their people. But this is a new thing, and they think it's going to. Randy, I truly think that these the people that are in charge of all this actually think it's going to help. I mean, these inventors, I know they never did it for it to be twisted and used hatefully. Or I think
like a malicious way.
I think they create it to help people, but then it's a invention that goes wrong. So
I agree totally.
So so that is it for today, folks. And I've got another show coming up. I'm going to wait about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to go get me some more coffee, and I'll come back, and I have a great show. And I want to let everybody know William couldn't make it today, so I'm going to stand in. But me and him have a Wow Wednesday show for the World War III. So I
want to say, get well, William. We're thinking about you. Hope you get to feeling better soon.
So So with that, folks, we will see you all. Me and Randy, and she'll be back next week. Hopefully, we can get her phone going right, and she'll be back next Monday for another Justice for All. You guys have a wonderful Monday, and God bless.
Bye-bye.